Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of mine. My name is Alina. I live in New York City and I'm a matchmaker. And so my subscribers and followers on Instagram voted that they wanted to talk about the topic of loneliness, pandemic of loneliness. So let's talk about that. And by the way, if you want to participate in the voting, go below and you can see my Instagram handle. Just follow me and that's where you can participate. So why is the pandemic of loneliness is happening? From my experience, first of all, it's the apps or any type of social media. Why? Simply because when we are on apps, we stop thinking that we should be going out and meeting people outside because we're becoming a little more lazy. We don't want to do it. We would rather spend time at home. So we have that availability thing going for it, right? It's like, oh, it's okay. I don't have to go anywhere because I have all these apps that I can talk to people and get that get that communication going there. So that's definitely one of the biggest reasons. And there's also this thing when you're on dating apps, you sometimes forget how to communicate with people face to face because you don't go out and you don't meet new people anymore. So I feel like that has broken people's way of communication. And for instance, I personally have worked in sales for a long time. So for me to talk to a new person is no biggie. I can do it every day, 10 times a day. It's just something that I used to, but I've developed that skill for 10 years. And if you don't have that skill, or if you don't have that kind of job that you have to do it, then obviously you're not willing to break certain barriers. You're not willing to overcome rejection. There's just less stimulus for you to do that. So I think that's also part of the reason is that when you're face to face, when you're in the bar, there was let's say in the 90s, there was no other way to meet people. And I know at least 3-4 people that met like that. They just approached the girl that they liked and they just spoke to her. And that's how they met their wives. So, and I feel like nowadays, honestly, because I have clients that come to me and they're ladies and they're very much frustrated because they're simply not being approached, even if they're showing that they are smiling or showing some kind of signs that they're interested. The guys still don't approach them. So I don't know if it's because the guys don't know how to approach anymore, or is it because of the issue of, let's say, Me Too, and they're scared to approach ladies. I'm not sure, guys. You have to comment on that because I don't know everybody's story. Because some guys that come to me as clients, they say it's both. They're either too shy to approach, and I work with them to break them out of that shell and come out who they truly are without being shy. And some of them say they're just afraid because of the movement that's going on. So could be both, right? Another reason for the loneliness pandemic, I think it could be the individualistic approach that the Western world is kind of accustomed to. You have to solve everything on your own. You have to do this, you have to do that, and it has to be all on your own. Otherwise, you're not a complete human being. Well, guess what? That's not true. And human, and it's a research topic, by the way, it's backed up by research. We are societal. We have to have communication. We are, that's what we long for. We can't solve all our problems on our own. I mean, for instance, if a tooth is aching, you can't solve that problem on your own. You need a dentist, right? I mean, come on, like this rhetoric that is being imposed on us is just simply not backed up by research. So don't you ever feel like you actually need to believe it, because it's, I'm here to debunk it. I'm here to totally debunk it. So if you ever need to talk to somebody, if you ever need to for somebody to help you, you simply have to ask. Don't you ever be afraid to ask, right? That could be part of the reason, because like we're being promoted that we have to do everything on our own. But I think the biggest skill that one person has and should have is to ask for something that they need, because nobody can read anybody's mind. And once you ask, you'll be surprised to actually get it. And it's totally okay. And I'm here to encourage you to ask as much as you feel you need to. I think also there is still stigma around mental health. Number 3, right? Number 3 reason for pandemic of loneliness is that we're still very skeptical to hire psychologists, to hire coaches, to hire people who can actually help us to improve ourselves, or not even improve, but just discover things about ourselves, or talk about things that are like deeply rooted, or we are very much ashamed maybe of, or very much here to solve and see what's going to happen next. But let me tell you something. I've been there, right? I went to therapy. And when I did that, I felt that something was going on with me internally, that I needed to do it. And by the way, I come from Russia, and stigma about mental health there is even worse. In what way? In the way that everybody, a lot of like people who grew up in the previous generations, like the Soviet Union, they never had that many specialists that were coming to help them with mental health. So they felt like they need to solve the problems on their own in a way, or just not solve problems at all, or not to basically being status quo, because everybody was kind of equal at the time. Everybody was given the job. Everybody was given education, because that was basically the structure, the political structure. But they still have that stigma. So when I was, the reason I'm saying this, when I was going to therapy, my family was skeptical, and they didn't, basically like they were making jokes a little bit about it. And you know what? But I'm such a stubborn person. I never listened to anybody in the way that if I needed to, I only had to listen to myself. Because if I felt like I needed therapy, I went for it. And guess what? It actually helped me. It helped me so much. It put me on a different level. But also, I broke that feeling of shame, of saying, yes, I do need help. Yes, I do need a specialist. Yes, it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to be not okay. And that's the thing, like, don't you ever be ashamed to admit that you're not perfect. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're not here to figure it all out on your own. You can actually hire professionals for that, but also make sure that those professionals have the right certifications and that they fit your personality. But all of that has to be based on your inner feeling, and you have to be honest with yourself at those times. So therapy does help if you hire the right professional. Coaching does help. I did hire coaches as well, and it did help me because I hired the right professionals. And then I went on to get the certification myself because I loved it so much, and it totally blew my mind what I learned there. So share in the comments what are the other reasons that you observed why there's pandemic of loneliness, and let me know. And also follow for more content like this. You can also drop in the comments what are the other topics that you want me to talk about from my experience, and also follow me on Instagram. And you can also get a one-on-one coaching session. You have to use the link below and book your session. Thank you.